Good day, Mamina. I'm Hani Espendon. I will be the one to report about norm reference grading. So, norm reference grading test is a type of test, assessment, or evaluation, which yields an estimate of the position of the tested individual in a predefined population with respect to the trait of being measured. So, the most commonly used grading system falls under the category of norm reference grading. Refers to a grading system wherein a student's grade is placed in relation to the performance of a group. So, thus in this system, a grade of 80 means that the student performed better than or the same as 80%. So, of the class or group. At first glance, there appears to be no problem with this type of grading system. So, as it simply describes the performance of a student with reference to a particular group of learners. So, the following example shows some of the difficulties associated with norm reference grading. So, this is the example. Consider the following two sets of score in an English 1 class for two sections of 10 students each. So, class A is 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, and 85. So, the class B is 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 90, 95, and 100. So, in the first class, the student who got a row of 75 would get a grade of 80%. So, while in the second class, the same grade of 80% would correspond to row score of 80. Indeed, if the tests used for the two classes are the same, it would be a rather unfair system of grading. So, a wise student would option to enroll in a class A since it is easier get higher grades in that class than in the other class or class B. So, the previous example illustrate one difficulty with using a norm reference grading system. This problem is called the problem of equivalency. So, thus a grade of 80 in one class represent the sum achievement level as a grade problem is similar to the problem as trying to compare a valedictorian from some remote rural high school with a valedictorian from some popular university in the urban area. So, norm reference grading system are based on a pre-established formula regarding the percentage of ratio of student within a whole class or will be assigned each grade or mark. It is therefore known in advance what percent of the student could pass or fail a given course. So, for this reason, many opponents of the norm reference grading system ever that such a grading system does not advance the cause of education and contradicts the principle of individual differences. So, in norm reference grading, the student, while they many work individually, are actually in competition to achieve a standard of performance that will classify them into the desired grade range. It essentially promotes competition among students or pupils in the same class. A student or pupil who happen to enroll in a class of gifted students in mathematics will find that the norm reference grading system is rather worrisome. So, like for example, a teacher may establish a grading policy whereby the top 15% of students will receive a mark of excellent or outstanding. So, which in a class 100 enrolled students will be 15 persons. So, this is the grading policy is illustrated. So, 1.0 is excellent. So, top 15% of class. And 1.50 is good and 15% of class. And 2.0 average, fair, and 45 of a class. And 3.0 poor pass and equivalent to 15% of a class. And 5.0 is failure. So bottom 10% of a class. So the underlying assumption in norm reference grading is that the student have abilities as reflected in their row scores that obey the normal distribution. The objective is to find out the best performers in this group. So, norm reference system are most often used for screening selected student population in condition where it is known that not all students can advance due to limitations such as available places, jobs, or other controlling factors. So, like for example, in the Philippine setting. So, since not all high school students can actually advance to college or university level because of financial constraints. So, the norm reference grading system can be applied. So, like for example, in a class of 100 students, the mean score in a test is 70 with a standard deviation of 5. Contract a norm reference grading table that would have 7 grade scales and such that students scoring between plus or minus 1 standard deviation from the mean receive an average grade. So the solution is the following intervals of row scores to grade equivalents are computed. So in this table, we have row score, grade equivalent, and percentage. So the row score is below 55 and the grade equivalent is fail and the percentage is 1%. And the row score is 55 to 60, the grade equivalent is marginal pass and the percentage is 4%. And the 61 to 65, the grade equivalent is pass and the percentage is 11%. And the row score is 66 to 75, the grade equivalent is average and the percentage is 68%. And the row score is 76 to 80, the grade equivalent is above average and 11%. So the row score is 81 to 85, the grade equivalent is very good and the percentage is 4%. And the row score is above 85, the grade equivalent is excellent and the percentage is 1%. So the only a few of the teachers who use norm reference grading apply it with complete consistency. When a teacher is faced with a particularly bright class, most of the time, he does not penalize good student for having the bad luck to enroll in a class with a cohort of other very capable students. So even if the grading system says he would fail a certain percentage of the class, on the other hand, it is also unlikely that a teacher would reduce the mean grade for a class when he observed a large proportion of poor performing students with to save them from failure. A serious problem with norm reference grading is that no matter what the class level of knowledge and ability. So the specific learning objectives of norm reference classes are often kept hidden in part out of concern that instructions not give away the test or the teacher's priorities, since this might tend to skew the curve. So in addition, norm reference give educators the ability to easily measure student ability and skill development. Norm reference systems are very easy to use. They work well in situations requiring rigid differentiation among students where, for example, a program size restrictions may limit the number of students advancing to higher level courses. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.